My name is Blessina Kumar, and I head the Global Coalition of TB Advocates, which is a global organization of TB survivors from 84 countries, and we have around 500 members. I'm a member of the Community Advisory Group for UNITE4TB Consortium. So the Community Advisory Group in UNITE4TB brings the perspective of the communities, people with TB at the ground level, for whom all our efforts are being made. And also we see ourselves as a bridge between the researchers, the scientific community, and the people affected by TB at the ground level. So we advise and suggest in all the processes in the development of whether it is protocols, whether it is the criteria of inclusion, exclusion, but also keeping in mind that individual on the ground and ensuring that we provide the best possible outcome for people affected by TB. So community engagement is something that is still not fully understood globally, but we're getting better at it. And in UNITE4TB, midway through the project, I think we've reached a place where we are happy, both the research community and the communities on the ground, on meaningfully engaging not just the global community advisory group, but also at the trial sites. And community advisory group or boards are not an add-on. They have to be intrinsic to any research project, because that is where you get the perspective of the people for whom the research is being conducted. TB has been extremely medicalized. The people part of it has been missing in the global TB response for decades. And I think to understand that TB is more than just a medical problem, you need to have the voices of people who have been through that journey to bring the other aspects into informing research and the decisions that are being made. So engaging people, even at the trial sites, is extremely important. And we in the Community Advisory Group recognize that it is a challenge because we're bringing groups that are thinking very differently. But I think if we understand and agree that all of us want the same thing at the end of the day, all of us are working towards the same goal, it becomes very easy. But the challenge is also getting people, and that takes a completely different aspect of ensuring that there is time, energy, resources spent on bringing that voice of meaningfully engaging with the community to inform the research that we are doing. I think any project, it is crucial that community engagement is at the heart of everything we do. And also to recognize that at the end of the road, there are people who are going to be the end users of the results of our research. So I think that's an overarching theme that we need to keep in mind, that it is about people, about being people-centered. And as I said, when we are investing in engaging with the community, it really needs to start right from the beginning, from the planning stage, that there is time, resources allocated for that. And I'm very happy to say that we have achieved that in UNITE4TB. And I'm very hopeful that as we move forward and take people along, the results of the research are going to be something that the communities would look forward to. So I think the policymakers need to understand and recognize that community engagement is not an add-on. It is as important as any of the work packages. In fact, community engagement is a cross-cutting activity that needs to be in every work package. Secondly, when you think of community engagement, it is not something that will happen because you've talked to a few community experts. It is something that would need a deliberate, intentional investment. And investment, I don't mean just money, but investment in terms of our planning, our investment of time, investment of resources. So it really needs a different way of thinking, of recognizing the value of the voice of the people who have experienced TB, who can inform and support the research that is being done. So I think allocating for community engagement, whether it is time or whether it is a different literature that needs to go with it, whether it is resources that are allocated, need to be done right from the beginning and engaging at every stage. So I think if communities come on board right from the beginning, the outcome, the end result is a win-win for both the scientific research community and for people who are going to be using the results of that at the community level, and for community advisory groups who, represent those communities at the ground level.
So let's end TB together.